Okay. And if Rebecca, if you can scroll forward, that would be helpful. Wonderful. Well, thank you all for joining and bearing with us as we set up interpretation services. Welcome to the Unemployment Insurance Benefits Training. Thank you all for making time today. We know the first few months of the CARE grant can be a big lift with the trainings and the budget and work plan modifications that you all need to go through. So we really appreciate you making the time today to go through this training. We ask that during the presentation you just stay on mute. We will make sure we save time at the end for any question and answer as well. So we're going to start today's presentation with a high-level overview of the unemployment insurance program. Next, I will hand it over to Rebecca, who will cover details on the certification process and common questions and issues that folks encounter. Then finally, we will have time, like I mentioned, for Q&A at the end. And just feel free to drop your questions in the chat throughout the presentation. We may not address them during the presentation, but we'll make sure to keep a running list and to answer them at the end. On the call today, we also have Assistant Director of the UI Division here to help us answer some questions. Thank you, Darlene Wilson, for being on the call today. And as many of you know, UI outreach and education is relatively new for the New Jersey Department of Labor. It was made clear during the pandemic that there is a need for proactive outreach and education on UI, both to help create a general sense of how the program works and to help build the capacities of your community-based organizations to be a resource for folks across the state. And we are excited to be able to continue that work on UI outreach this year through the CARE grant. Next slide. Oh, so some disclaimers before we start the presentation. The presentation provides just general information, not legal advice. The New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development has provided this information and related materials as part of the CARE grant program. We work closely with our colleagues here at the Department of Labor to keep this information timely and accurate. However, there will often be delays between official publication of materials and modifications. So the New Jersey Register and the New Jersey Administrative Code remain the official source of regulatory information published by the New Jersey Department of Labor. Our team here at the Department of Labor, the CARE Grant team, will do our best to keep you all apprised to any changes to the UI program throughout the CARE Grant cycle, though. Also, just these slides are more detailed than maybe some of your outreach you intend to do throughout the course of the year. We wanted to give you all the information up front, but feel free to shorten slide decks. We will send them out, uh, you know, we will send them out after this meeting, but feel free to customize them for your needs. And remember, we do need to approve any wording changes that you make to describe the programs. So if you create any original copy, please reach out to Lance, Rebecca, and myself, and we will review and approve that copy. We know this process can be confusing. The New Jersey Department of Labor's Office of UI Modernization is working to modernize and improve the process of applying for unemployment insurance. There'll be user testing and listening session opportunities throughout the grant cycle, and we will do our best to keep you apprised of them and to update you, as I said, on any updates to the system as a whole. In the meantime, we think, it's important to just understand how to successfully apply and certify for UI benefits now. We know some of you on the call have a lot of experience with the UI program. This training is meant to provide a baseline understanding for folks who are new to the program. The program is complex and at times difficult to understand, and our team is here to answer any questions that you might have throughout the CARE grant cycle.
I just want to jump in to say that Lance shared the Spanish version of these slides in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
So if you need Spanish, you can follow along with the translation as well as the interpretation. Sorry for jumping in, David.
Nope, thank you for calling that out. I missed it in my notes, so thank you. Okay, so what is unemployment insurance? So Unlike paid family and medical leave programs and the earned sick leave laws, which are state programs and laws, the unemployment insurance program is a federal state program that helps many people who have lost their job by temporarily replacing part of their wages while they look for work. So the New Jersey Department of Labor administers the program, but the laws and regulations are set by the federal government. So, what is unemployment insurance? Unemployment insurance is a program that gives financial support to people who lost their job or whose work hours have been reduced through no fault of their own. Those who meet eligibility requirements may receive benefits for up to 26 weeks during a 1 year period. And during times of high unemployment, other extended or enhanced benefits programs may become available as well. So, for example, the enhanced unemployment insurance benefits that were available during the pandemic. And claimants can receive 60% of their average weekly wages up to the maximum amount, up to a maximum amount. And for 2024, the maximum weekly benefit rate is $854. So who is eligible for unemployment insurance benefits? It's important to note that when you first apply for unemployment insurance benefits, the New Jersey Department of Labor reviews the information you and your employer provides. To qualify, you must meet all eligibility requirements of federal and state unemployment compensation law and regulations. And there are two main categories of eligibility. There's monetary, so a claimant must earn a certain amount of money during their base year to be eligible for benefits. And then there's non-monetary, so claimants must have lost their job or had a reduction in work hours due to no fault of their own. Other eligibility requirements include, so after qualifying for benefits, each week you must be able to work, actively seeking work, available for work, and not refuse an offer of suitable work. You must also keep your appointments with the New Jersey Department of Labor when scheduled in order to continue receiving your benefits. These appointments may be done over the phone, online via a secure form linked from an email that is sent to you, or in person. If you miss an in-person or phone appointment or do not complete an online form, your benefits could be delayed or denied. Again, unemployment insurance benefits are meant for people who lose their job through no fault of their own, such as an employer's lack of work or laid off due to downsizing. If you were fired due to misconduct or you quit voluntarily without good cause, your benefits may be denied or require a waiting period. In these cases, the New Jersey Department of Labor will review your eligibility, and this means a New Jersey Department of Labor representative will conduct fact finding by phone or email, and your employer may be asked to participate in that process. So what are the earnings requirements to be eligible for unemployment insurance? So you have to meet a minimum earnings requirement during your base year. The base year period is the time frame used to determine if you qualify for UI benefits and to calculate your benefits amount. There are multiple ways of calculating a base year. A regular base year consists of the first four of the last five completed calendar quarters before the week you file your initial claim. But again, there are different ways to calculate the base period. For information on the base year, you can go to myunemployment.nj.gov. To be eligible in 2024, though, you must have earned at least 283 dollars during a 20-week or more period during the base year, or you must have earned at least $14,200 during the base year period. Earnings can come from multiple employers, though. And finally, you must also have valid work authorization during periods of earning. We know that New Jersey has a large immigrant communities, so it's important to point out for those who may be working with immigrants uh, that as it is required by the federal government. We encourage people to apply regardless of if they're unsure if they're meet earnings requirements. And I know this information about base year period and earnings requirements can be a little detailed in the weeds, so we don't worry about rushing to internalize all this information or write it down. As I said, the slides and the recordings will be sent out after this meeting to be a resource for you all as you're doing your outreach throughout the grant cycle. Some more information about work authorization in UI. The general rule is that workers must have valid work authorization during the base year period at the time that they apply for benefits and for any period for which they are claiming benefits. Are not available. Otherwise, they are not available for work. This means that H-2A workers and workers with temporary protected status or TPS may qualify as long as they meet all other eligibility criteria. How you'll be paid for your unemployment insurance benefits. So there are two ways you can get paid for UI benefits. You can file a new claim, and when you file a new claim, you can choose how you want to receive benefits, either through direct deposit, which is what we recommend, or a prepaid debit card. If you do not enter your banking information and sign up for direct deposit, you will get your benefits through by a prepaid debit card. There are also some unique eligibility requirements for certain types of workers and people. So teachers and school employers and corporate officers and business owners both have their own unique eligibility requirements. To learn more about those specific requirements, you can visit myunemployment.nj.gov/eligibility. And if you are a care grantee working with people in these professions, feel free to reach out to our team and we can help you better understand those requirements. Um, it is also not uncommon for people to be employed in a different state, especially with New Jersey being so close to the New York City and Philadelphia metro areas. So it is important to note that you must apply for benefits in the state that you worked in the past 18 months. There are exceptions for military service, and more information about applying for benefits out of state can be found at myunemployment.nj.gov/out of state. How to apply. So we do recommend applying online at myunemployment.nj.gov, but you can also apply by phone in English and Spanish by calling 732-761-2020. For other languages, please choose to speak with an agent and request an interpreter. You will also need to verify your identity as a part of the application process. You'll be instructed to verify your identity through a specific web link connected to ID.me. Um, the process can be completed in a few minutes using the email address associated with your initial unemployment claim, a computer or mobile phone, and common pieces of identification documents, such as a driver's license, state ID, passport, employment authorization, etc. You can also complete the process via a live video conference session in a language of your choice, and you can also schedule an in-person appointment to verify identity. To learn more about verifying your identity, though, you can go to myunemployment.nj.gov/identity. And then finally, once your claim is approved, you'll need to certify regularly. Certifying is the weekly process of letting us know that you are still unemployed and actively seeking work, and that you continue to meet all other requirements for claiming unemployment insurance benefits. You may certify benefits online or by phone. If you forget to certify, you can certify for benefits online any day of the week. If you certify by phone and you miss your assigned date, you should call and certify your claim. You should call and certify your claim and claim your benefits on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday immediately following your assigned date. You should claim your benefits during the week in which you were assigned date occurs, or your benefits could be delayed or denied. So with that high-level overview of the UI program, I'm going to sort of hand the presentation over to Rebecca to handle the details of the certifying process and sort of common questions that folks have about unemployment insurance. And I will continue to collect the questions that are popping up in the chat so that we can address them during the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So with that, I will hand it over to Rebecca.
Thank you. I see a question about, I thought the assigned date stopped. I'm just wondering if we could address that right now, Darlene or Rabiel. There might have been an update to the process that are not reflected in our slides.
Yes. No, we still have the assigned dates. And there's a schedule on our website for, depending on the last four digits of one social security number. The schedule is also on our website.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And F. Bass, I'm not sure the full name. We can get you more information if you have questions. Okay. So yeah, I'll be going into more details about the certification process, as well as some other nuances of the unemployment insurance program. So if it's your first time certifying, your claim is dated the Sunday of the week in which you file your initial unemployment claim. You'll claim your benefits for the first time on a Wednesday, which is 17 days after your date of claim, or that Sunday. The first time you certify, you'll need to create a 4-digit PIN after entering in your social security number. We recommend writing your PIN down because you need this to certify each week. There's some more details highlighted on the links on this page. You can certify online. You can also certify by phone. So now I'll go through the certification questions. Answering these questions incorrectly can cause your benefits to be delayed or denied. The department is working on improving and clarifying the certification process, and the phrasing of these questions could change in the future, but it's important to understand how to answer them correctly as they are now. So the first question is, were you able and available to work? This answer should be yes if you're physically and mentally able to report to work, and if you're physically and mentally able to work, and you are also available to report to work. Being available to work means that you can start work immediately, you have transportation access, no personal reasons that prevent you from working, and also that you have any valid work authorization necessary to begin working. You won't be able to receive benefits during any week which you're not available to work. So for example, if you're on vacation or you're traveling and wouldn't be able to work. If you wouldn't be able to work that week, then you cannot claim benefits during that time. Please note that if you have a client who is caregiving, bonding with a new baby, coping with domestic or sexual violence, has a physical or mental health condition that prevents them from working, so anyone that falls under that temporary disability and family leave insurance umbrella, there are options for those who are unemployed as well at the same time, and I'll go over those in a few different, in some slides. Okay. If you're not able and available to work, your answer to this question should be no. Okay, the next certification question is, are you actively seeking work? Seeking work is a requirement to receive unemployment benefits. So if you're actively search for work, you should answer yes. This can include telephone, internet, and in-person contacts, sending resumes. These are all acceptable work search options. Otherwise, your answer should be no. And we have more information on the work search requirements on our website. It's really important that workers keep a written record of their work search activities because you will need to produce them if the Department of Labor asks for them. And if you can't produce records proving that you've searched for work, it could result in you needing to pay your benefits back. I see some questions coming in the chat. Keep them coming. We'll answer them at the end. To aid workers in their work search activities, feel free to check out our career services webpage. We have free virtual and in-person services. Our website has information about trainings, apprenticeships, and more. So it's a really great website to check out while you're unemployed. The next question is, did you refuse any work? If you did not refuse an offer of suitable work, you should answer no. If you refuse an offer of suitable work, you should answer yes. The definition of suitable work changes per person. It's fitted based on where they live, their skills, their experience, past salary. Just because you receive an offer of work does not mean you have to accept it, but as long given if that work is not suitable. And if you have more, we can provide more details about what is considered suitable work later. Next question is, were you attending school or job training? If you're attending school or training, answer this question yes. Otherwise, your answer should be no. Did you receive holiday or vacation pay? If you did, your answer should be yes, and we'll send you an online questionnaire to determine if that pay should be reported as earnings. If not, your answer should be no. Are you receiving or have you applied for pension or other retirement pay? If you're receiving pensions or other retirement benefits from an employer that's listed when you apply, your answer should be yes. Answer no if you're not receiving pension payments or if you're receiving pension from an employer who is not listed on the application. They'll ask if you worked between some given dates. If you did any work or received payment for completed past work between these dates, you should answer yes and report your hours worked and your gross wages. You should report wages from an employer the week they are earned. If you're self-employed, you should report the income the week it was received. Not reporting any income could result in you being overpaid benefits, and you would have to eventually pay that money back to us. So it's really important to report your gross wages. If you have a problem with your claim, it is still important to certify each week. You can receive a credit for the weeks you claimed. If you're eventually determined eligible or you win an appeal, you'll be paid benefits for the weeks credited. But in order to be credited for those weeks, you have to certify. If you have not claimed benefits and you win your appeal, you will not be paid benefits for the weeks you did not claim. You might be required to participate in some mandatory scheduled appointments. This could be done over the phone, online, or in person. If you miss an in-person or phone appointment or don't complete an online form, your benefits could be delayed or denied. So it's very important that you keep all appointments. We have some more details about what the appointments might look like on our website as well. We will mail you a determination letter if your claim is not approved. And then if you disagree, you have the right to file an appeal. You have 21 days to file an appeal to the appeals tribunal after the initial determination is mailed to your last known address. Employers have 7 days to file an appeal after they've received a determination. You can file an appeal online or by mail to the department, and we have more information about the appeals process on our website. You might be required to repay any benefits you received but were not entitled to. If this happens, you'll receive a notice explaining the reason and amount of overpayment. You heard me mention different reasons why there could be an overpayment or you receiving benefits that you are not entitled to. There's different types of overpayments. This could include fraud or no fraud overpayments or agency error. Overpayments are typically caused when a worker does not report earnings during the time they are receiving benefits. If someone is fraudulent, fraudulent and that is why they were overpaid, they could be subject to fines and interest, as well as having to repay the benefits back. There are special waivers for pandemic-related programs if there's overpayments related to any of those pandemic-related programs that those extended benefits that were in 2020 and part of 2021. If you receive an overpayment notice, there are a few options. You can either make your payment, you can appeal the determination, or you can request to waive the overpayment. And we have more information on our website as well. You have 1 year from the date you file your initial claim to collect the maximum amount of benefits available to you. This is based on your maximum benefit amount is based on your earnings history. If you get benefits for a period of time and then return to work but become unemployed again, you can reopen your initial claim. if it's within that year. You can also reopen a claim after a period of ineligibility has expired. So if you refuse suitable work or are fired from your job for misconduct, these are examples of you might potentially be ineligible for unemployment benefits, but eventually you could become eligible again and then could reopen your claim after that. There are some dependency benefits are, so if you have dependents and you are receiving a weekly benefit rate, then that is less than the maximum weekly benefit rate for that year, you could qualify for additional benefits. So for 2024, if you're receiving less than $854 per week, that's the maximum weekly benefit amount, you could potentially be eligible for some additional benefits. For up to 3 dependents, the maximum amount is an additional 15% of your weekly benefit amount. Dependency benefits will only increase your weekly benefit rate up to the maximum weekly benefit rate. So for 2024, dependency benefits can only increase a weekly benefit rate up to $854 per week. There's more information about the calculation details on our website, but I'm happy to go into more details if that's helpful. Okay, I did mention how unemployment insurance and paid family and medical leave, or we call it temporary disability and family leave insurance, how those programs can intersect. So there's a few different ways. So as mentioned earlier, you have to be able and available to work to receive unemployment benefits. If you are not able and available to a reason that's due to a reason that's covered by paid family and medical leave, you could receive disability during unemployment or family leave during unemployment. This is a hybrid program between temporary disability and family leave insurance and unemployment insurance benefits. You would be paid the unemployment insurance rate, but you apply on our My Leave Benefits website, not the unemployment insurance website. We have more information about these programs online, but I'm happy to go into more details. If you're unemployed and receiving unemployment benefits and then become unable or available to work due to a reason covered under paid family and medical leave, you would stop certifying for unemployment benefits and then apply online for paid family and medical leave benefits. If you are taking paid family and medical leave, and then when you're ready to return to work, you do not have your job because it wasn't protected by state or federal law, you could be eligible for unemployment benefits and then apply. This is our contact us slide. We have different numbers for those who are charged more for long distance, but any of these 3 numbers work and go to the same place. So if you're having a hard time getting through, calling one and then hanging up to call another will cause you to lose your place in line. We also have a number for out-of-state claims, and as well as for New Jersey Relay, which is a service for those with hearing or speech disabilities. We know that technology can be a barrier to accessing benefits. We do have some in-person appointments available. We have in-person unemployment benefit appointments available. They're at local one-stops all across different counties. There's also abilities to complete identity proofing in person. So these are important links to go to make those in-person appointments. These are tips that we give workers for applying. First, don't wait to file a claim. Once you separate from your job, do it as soon as possible. Our online application is currently available in English and Spanish, and if you need another language, you can file over the phone and request an interpreter. The claim status tool has different self-service options, which are helpful. And we also have our customer service information here. We recommend calling early in the morning. This slide is the next few slides are just for internal trainings. So this is what we recommend to you as care grantees and folks who might be helping clients access benefits. So these are our tips for best assisting clients. The first is to become familiar with myunemployment.nj.gov. There are a lot of FAQs on there that might be answering some common questions, but we're also happy to work with you if you have any client-specific questions. You can help a client by helping them fill out an application accurately. Filling it out inaccurately could delay or deny benefits. You could help them schedule in-person appointments if they need. You can also help them to track their work search activities. It's important to note that organizations cannot utilize any funds from the CARE grant to represent a worker or employer in appeal hearings or other legal proceedings related to these programs that could be a conflict of interest. But you can educate them about the appeals process or such processes. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go over some of the outreach materials we have available that we can print and mail to you at no cost about unemployment insurance. Lance you probably received communication from Lance about filling out print orders. These are all on our website, so a lot of these won't be a surprise, but just a refresher. We do have this half-page handout in a few different languages. Right now we have it in English, Spanish, Arabic, Urdu, Haitian Creole, Hebrew, and Portuguese. If you need other languages, please let us know and we'll do our best to accommodate. And David, thank you, David, for putting a link in the chat to where you can access all these materials yourself. But again, we can also mail them to you for no cost. This is this handout is updated from last year. We have a new handout that goes over in-person unemployment services. It talks about the in-person appointments you can make at our career service centers or one-stop centers across the state. It also gives some information about how to make in-person ID.me appointments, which you could use to for identity proofing. This one is some information about ID.me, some common frequently asked questions. I do believe the handout that's on our website is not the most updated. We need to get that updated, but if you need updated copies of these, Lance will surely get those to you. And then we also have a handout that has all the in-person ID.me locations, so you can get an idea of where folks can go get that help. And the last handout I have is this information about career centers. This is just important because you can see the types of work search activities we can help clients with. Again, we have virtual, in-person, totally free services that we can help clients connect with new careers. So it's important to know about those resources when you're working with folks claiming unemployment benefits. Okay, we're gonna open it up for questions. I know David's been tracking them. This is our contact information, and I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and then let David take it from here.
Apologies, I was on mute. Darlene, I saw you put your hand up. Did you want to say something before we go to Q&A?
Yes, thank you, David. I just want to make one correction. Currently on our website, we are advising claimants that they can certify anytime between Sunday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. However, this changes regularly, so I would just advise them to check to schedule if there is a schedule before certifying. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Darlene. Okay, so I've been keeping an eye on the chat. I've got a couple questions here. The first one I have, and if you have a question, feel free to just raise your hand, drop it in the chat, come off mute, but I'm just going to go through the questions that came in the chat for the moment. So the first one is, can teachers/school employees apply for UI benefits before the end of the year? For example, a week or two beforehand. I think they mean between the end of the school year. I'm assuming before summer recess. So I don't know, Darlene, if you want to talk a little bit about how UI works for school employees. I know there are special conditions.
Yes, sure. The answer is no. They will have to apply at the end of the school term. School employees are handled differently. We usually have two offices that just work only on the claimants that are filing for school employee claims, but they will have to also file at the end of the school term and not before.
Great. And then I think there was a similar question around paraprofessionals. So can a paraprofessional that works for a school apply if she only works 10 months? She always asks to work in the summer, but doesn't think they need paras in the summer.
Yes, she has a right to apply for benefits, and if she's eligible, what we will check to see if there's reasonable assurance to return for the next school semester. And if they meet the qualifications, they'll be eligible for benefits. But yes, she should apply and can apply.
And I know I'm reading off other people's questions, so if if the answer Darlene is giving spurs another question, feel free to just like come
Okay,
off mute and like ask the follow-up question as
okay,
well
got it.
for
Thank
Okay,
you.
folks.
yeah, I do have a question because
Yeah.
he actually denied her.
Okay,
And this is like the second year. She had tried last year and then they denied her last year and then they had denied her again. I told her maybe to appeal it, but I'm not sure what she needs to do at this point.
now she will be, now if they denied her probably because she said that she has reasonable assurance to return to work. Usually the professionals do not return on the first day of school. So if you look on our website, there are different provisions for school employees. If he or she does not return on the first day of school, they can contact us and they will be paid for the weeks during the summer as long as they claim those weeks. And the claimant always have the right to file an appeal as well.
Okay. So you said if she doesn't return on the first day.
On the first day, then they'll be eligible during the summer break.
Okay, all right, thank you.
But she will have to contact us and let us know that she did not return.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Great. I think I see I don't know if that's a hand, Tiffany, did you have a question that you wanted to ask?
Yes, I do have a question. I was wondering, like, let's say as a student and they're working, they've been working for maybe like a year and a half already, but they're returning back to school as a full-time student and they was to put in like a resignation letter in prior to them leaving. Do they get, even if they apply for unemployment, will they be penalized like the 4 to 6 weeks or, due to that the knows that they are a full-time student and they will be returning back?
Did you want me to answer that, David?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so the claimant, depending on the reason for the resignation, the claimant may be denied benefits and indefinitely. If they're returning, they're resigning just to return to school, they will have to be seen by a claims examiner. We'll send a link out to them for more questions. Did they advise their employer this was just a temporary job that they were accepting because they are a student? So there's more factors that are needed before we can make a decision on that.
Okay, thank you.
But am I right to say that since you have to be available to work, if being at school full-time could mean you're not available to work?
And you
So-
can add that we do also have provisions for students. Some students are waived if the occupation that they're studying is a demand occupation. We will waive their availability for work and ability to work.
Thank you, darling. So the next one is, what is the time frame for filing an appeal of overpayment decision? Darlene, do you have a sense of the timeline on overpayment?
Yes, 21 days from the date of the notice.
21 days. Thank you.
And then, you're welcome.
No, go ahead. Say what you're
No,
going to say.
that's it. That's it.
Okay. So I have a question here about the UI system and the TDI FLI system. Does the UI system interact with the TDI FLI system? If someone applies for UI, but TDI FLI might be better for them because they are not able or available to work, will the UI system send their claim to TDI FLI? I think I know the answer to that one. It is at the moment, no, we are not sending claims that are better suited for TDI FLI or should be filed with TDI FLI from UI to TDI FLI. They would have to complete a new application. And Darlene and Rebecca, if I am wrong or you have more information you want to share, please jump in.
You are 100% correct.
Okay.
Can you tell us what TDI FLI stands for?
Yeah, it's temporary disability insurance and family leave insurance. So that's like the names of the paid family and medical leave program. So temporary disability insurance is for sort of any medical leave that is needed, and family leave insurance is often to care for a family member or a loved one. So, okay, next question. How does one apply for training benefits? Like I think it's called ABT, and I think WIOC. This one came through a private message. I don't know who was asking it.
Oh, me, I put my name on the thing now, but yeah, I asked that question because,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Did you have more like did I capture the question correctly? Did you have more
Yeah,
information?
how would somebody go about trying to apply for those benefits to go get training? Yes.
Darlene, do you have an answer?
Yeah.
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I might have to
Yes,
take that.
they
Okay.
can just report as a walk-in to one of our one-stops and speak to one of our career service counselors with workforce, not unemployment, with the workforce. Department of Workforce, they can just speak to a counselor there to inquire about ABT or any other training opportunities that they have available. And they can walk in for that service.
Okay. Do you know if they have any funding for that? Because I know for the one, I think they said they didn't have any funding.
For which one? That they will have to speak to a counselor because they have different programs that the claimant may be eligible for,
Mhm.
depending on what type of schooling they're looking to attend and what type of additional benefits they're looking for through workforce.
All right.
Mhm. And I believe Rebecca did show a handout of all of the one-stop offices during the slide. So it should be in the slide, the locations.
There are also virtual services as well, and I just put the link in the chat. But yeah, some programs are funding specific. Not all programs, but some.
Great. Next question. Is there a way to get your claim reviewed for the amount that is being paid to you? Presentation said 60% of your wages, but the person I'm talking to is getting less than 50%.
Absolutely. You just reach out to one of our call centers and request a monetary review. And we will review the monetary entitlement on the claim.
Just a reminder, the maximum amount you can receive is $854 a week in 2024. So if that's what they're receiving, and that's less than 50% or less, that could just be that they earn more than the maximum amount would allow.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Rebecca. Thank you. Okay, next question I have is, can you speak to sample scenarios when someone is not provided their job back after they take paid family and medical leave, and how likely or unlikely it is that they are eligible for unemployment insurance?
I think Ms. Becca also spoke about this earlier. If their position is no longer available, after they were on medical leave or family leave, they will be eligible for unemployment benefits. They can just file the claim and make sure they state that to the agent if they're speaking to an agent at one of our call centers, or that they clearly state this when filing the claim online, that their position was no longer available after a medical leave or any type of paid leave.
Thank you, Darlene.
You're welcome.
I think I got through all the questions in the chat. If people have follow-up questions from the answers, or if you have additional questions, feel free to just come off mute or just continue to drop them in the chat. Our team will hang out here for a bit longer to answer any questions that come up.
I
So
have a question.
yeah,
I have a friend, she's still on medical leave, I guess, and her benefits from the job ran out. So I told her maybe she could apply for the state temporary disability benefits. Only thing is, because she was asking me the other day, well, can I apply for unemployment? I said, I'm not sure because I think you have to be available for work. But earlier it said something. Can you guys maybe elaborate on that? Or what should she apply for? Because she's no longer getting the benefits from her job.
I need to learn a little bit more about her situation, so why don't we talk offline?
Okay.
And I'm happy to talk to her directly as well.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, thank you.
great. I'm also going to drop a link in the chat for a survey. This survey is on this training and this presentation. We often send out surveys after we give these trainings just to help us think about how to improve them going forward, think about other resources and supports we can provide you through the grant cycle to understand the programs and be successful in your outreach. So please take a moment to complete the survey. It would be very helpful for our team. And yeah, like I said, we'll hang out. Our team is gonna continue to hang out here and answer any additional questions. But thank you all for attending the training. Like I said, if you have more questions, just come off mute. If you have scenarios, feel free to share them. We'll do our best to try to understand them and provide guidance. And you also just feel free to use the chat. And if something comes up later in the week that you have a question on, that you didn't think to ask here, just feel free to send us, our team, an email, and we'll happy to provide guidance over email to you or provide further explanation and details over email as well. So we're gonna, like I said, we'll hang out here for a few more minutes. Yeah, thank you all.
I'm sorry, I have a question. Is there a time limit that you can apply for like to do the job training? Like, is there a certain amount of days or months after you get approved that you could sign up for the job training?
Approved
Um,
for, sorry, you go, Darlene.
okay, no, okay, thank you, Rebecca. I would say my advice would be to speak to a career service counselor because there's different types of training.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I would advise the claimant to do.
Darlene, are people unemployed due to strikes eligible?
There's been this change in the law. They can be eligible after 14 days and also if their employer replaced them with workers. So we have that information on our website. And sometimes they are eligible. Yes, it depends on the circumstances.
So they should apply.
Correct. Yeah.
How long do people have to work to be eligible for unemployment insurance?
20 base weeks and 20 base weeks during the regular base period.
So a base period generally is the first 4 of the last 5 quarters. So if you've worked 20 weeks in the past, what is it, 18 months or something
Yeah.
like that, you are probably good to go.
Yeah, the regular base period right now is from April 2023 through March 2024. And if they work after that, they may be eligible in what we call an ABY1, alternate base year 1, and an alternate base year 2.
There's basically many tries we give a
Yeah.
worker to be eligible. We want
Yeah.
workers to be eligible for what they're paying into. And the earnings requirement is the same as for temporary disability and family leave insurance, Tracy. So if they're eligible, if you think they'd be eligible for that, unemployment insurance would apply as well.
And Rebecca, I don't know if it's helpful to point out that a base week, they must earn at least $283 for the base week and
Yeah.
then 14,200 if it helps.
In 2024, that
Yeah.
changes. But Tracy, you know a bit about that because of your work with TDI-FLI as well.
I also dropped a link that Darlene mentioned to the information about UI and labor disputes and strikes in the chat. So
Oh, perfect.
you can find more information there as well. Right. Any additional questions? Like I said, feel free to come off chat, come off mute, drop them in the chat. And our team will hang out here for another 5 or 10 minutes if anybody has questions. But yeah, thank you all for attending the training. If you have outstanding deliverables and work plans and budgets that need to be submitted, please get those in as soon as possible. Our team is here to help. Caroline is here to help with that as well. So yeah, thank you all. All right. Well, if there are no more questions, I think I'm gonna close down the room. Thank you for joining us. And like I said, if you have any additional questions that come up during the week or in the months ahead, just feel free to reach out to our team. Thank you.
Thank you, David and Rebecca.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
David and
everyone.
Rebecca.